Part 3, Chapter 9, Additional Inventory Issues. And now we're going to cover the last two for estimating retail using Lifo and dollar value Lifo. So, again, with the retail method, because we use this method, we can use it for financial reporting, assuming it gets close, and the IRS also uses this method. Now, let's first see what are the kind of transactions we deal with when we're doing retail. We have beginning inventory, purchases, less purchase returns, minus discounts, plus freight in, plus net markups, minus markdowns, and abnormal shortages. Remember, those are always shown, abnormal shortages are always shown above the line. And then we've got normal shortages and employees' discounts. These are always shown after the percentage calculation. So that's the general cost we're always going to get. And then we got to figure out what to do with them. All right, so now we're going to look. We've looked at average cost and conventional. Now we're going to look at LIFO and dollar value LIFO. Now, computes the cost to retail ratio, but what it takes into consideration is the cost associated with beginning inventory may be different because of price changes, might be different than the layer that was added during the year. So we have to isolate that. So here's how it would work. You would add in all the costs, but don't include beginning inventory, and calculate our beginning inventory, which is cost to retail, a ratio, and our current period based on current year activity to get another ratio. We're going to use both of those at the end. We're going to add beginning inventory to get our total cost of goods available for sale. We're going to subtract out our net sales, normal shortages, employee discounts. Those are always after the percentage. And now when we estimate ending inventory, what we're going to do is use the at retail. We're going to take that beginning inventory, convert it to cost, and we're going to do the same thing with the layer, which is always going to be the difference between the ending inventory minus the beginning inventory. And then we're going to come up with a total estimated inventory cost. We're going to subtract that to get estimated cost of goods sold. So that's the formula, and now we'll walk through a problem. So again, look at this. This is, I think, a really good guide. So Danny had no change in the price index. He has beginning inventory. He's had purchases, markups, markdowns, and some estimated theft, which would be normal. Right, so now we're going to go to our problem. We're going to take our purchases. You've noticed we're not including our beginning inventory to get our total cost of goods available for sale at retail. And we're going to come up with 75% for that layer. Our beginning inventory, and we're going to come up with 70% for that layer. Now we have our total cost of goods available for sale. We're going to take out our sales and our shortages, which are normal. And now we can do our layers. So we're going to first begin with our 20,000, which was our beginning inventory at retail times the 70%. And then the current layer is going to be the 26,400 minus the beginning inventory at retail of 20, which gives you 6,400, and we're going to take it times our 75%. And that's going to give us our ending inventory at cost, estimated cost, and that gives us our estimated cost of goods sold. So that's how that one would work. Now let's take a look at dollar value LIFO. In dollar value LIFO, we're going to use indexes. So to get the ending inventory, you have to take the beginning inventory at cost times the index times the cost to retail method. And the layer is going to be at retail times the index times the cost divided by retail. So now we'll walk through the model. Makes more sense when I walk through the model. Okay, so here's our model. Again, we don't include beginning inventory. We look at our percentage for cost to retail beginning inventory and for the current period. Then we're going to add our beginning inventory to get our total cost of goods sales. Then we're going to do our normal subtractions to get our estimated ending inventory at retail. Now we're going to take our ending inventory at retail divided by ending year index equals ending inventory at base retail. So we're going to take our base retail, beginning inventory, base at base times index times percentage, and our current layer, base times index times percentage. And that's going to give us our estimated ending inventory using dollar value LIFO. It's probably easier if we just look at an example. Okay, here's our problem. We have beginning inventory, we have purchases, we have freight, we have returns, we have markup, markdowns, net sales, and they're telling you by the end of the year the index is going to be 1.1. So we add our purchases, our freight in minus our purchase returns, we add in our markups, we subtract out our markdowns, and we get total cost available for sale excluding beginning inventory. Remember, you don't include beginning inventory whenever you do LIFO. Doesn't matter which method you use. Okay, so the current period cost to retail percentage is 70%. Now that's what it is on the activity during the year, the layer. Now beginning inventory, that is going to be at 0.64 because that's the beginning inventory divided by retail. So now we have total cost of goods available for sale. We're going to subtract out our net sales and we get estimated ending inventory at retail. Now we're going to take our 209 and we're going to divide by 1.1, which is the index for the year, equals 190, which is ending inventory at base retail. So we're going to take our beginning inventory times their index, which would be 1, because that's the base year, times 64% would give us 80. And then the current layer is we're going to take the 190, which is base, minus the 125, which is the beginning inventory, which tells us our layer, and we're going to take that times 1.1 times our ratio. And now we have our estimated ending inventory at cost, so we can then calculate our estimated cost of goods sold. So that ends this presentation, part 3, chapter 9, on LIFO and dollar value LIFO. And if you have any questions, you can always email me.